Hello, Michael.
Hello,
Hello,
teacher.
Michael. Yes, hello. How are you today?
I'm fine.
Okay. Did you go out today? Did you go to school?
Mm, yes, I did.
Okay. And what did you do today in school?
Mm, I study biology, history, math, and math.
Okay. You studied biology, history, and math, right?
Yes.
Okay. So what did you do during the weekend?
Mm, I go to my friend house.
Oh, you went to your friend's house.
I went to
I
my friend
went to
house.
my friend's house. That's nice. Okay. So what did you do at your friend's house?
Um, I uh, I play pickleball and play game with my friend
Okay. All right. That's
and do
good.
homework.
And did your homework. Okay. So what did you eat today?
I ate bread for breakfast. Mm,
Okay.
I ate bread for breakfast, fry it and rice for lunch, and and chicken and rice for dinner.
Okay, that's nice. So welcome to class today, Michael. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen with you now so we can move to today's lesson. 1 minute, let me share my screen. One minute. Okay. So where did we stop in our last class? Can you hear me, Michael?
Yes, I can.
Did we do this in our last class?
What?
Did we do this in our last class?
Yes.
Yes, okay. Oh, I think we did this. So today we are going to start from here, okay? Public holidays in South Korea, all right? Public holiday in South Korea, okay? A public holiday is a day when people all over the country do not need to go to school or work on a public holiday, okay? When people all over the country do not need to go to school or work on a public holiday. Sorry, let me zoom this. Can't see clearly. Okay. A public holiday is a day when people all over the country do not need to go to school or work. All right? On a public holiday, we can play or rest. Okay? On a public holiday, we can play or rest. All right? So now here, I want you
Yeah.
to think about your favorite holiday. Okay? Think about your favorite holiday. All right? So now tell me the name of the holiday. What's your favorite holiday?
Mm, summer holiday,
Okay?
Tết Tết holiday.
Oh, your favorite holiday is Tet holiday, right?
Yeah.
Okay, Tet holiday. So now tell me the date of the holiday. Date.
Mm, um, um, wait. Mm,
What date is Tet holiday?
mm, um, from the beginning of um, January to đâu from the from the end of January to the beginning of February. February.
Okay, from the end of January to the beginning of February, right?
Yes.
From the end to the beginning. Okay, so now
Yes.
reason for the holiday. What's the reason for the Tet holiday? What's the
Mm,
reason? What's the reason for the holiday?
um, um, it because worshiping worshiping ancestors.
Okay, worshiping, worshiping our ancestors. Okay, so why do you like this holiday? Why do you like Tet holiday?
Because in uh, because I can do anything update and 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 I can relax. I can play rest update.
Okay, you can relax, right?
Yeah,
And you can do anything you like during the Tet holiday, right?
yeah.
Okay, so I like the holiday because I can relax. Okay, so now let's move to the next one. Warm up question. Okay, we answered number one already. What's your favorite public holiday? What day of the week is best for public holiday? Okay, so let's answer number two. I want you to answer number two. What day of the week is best for a public holiday?
Mm,
What day of the week is best for a public holiday?
I don't know.
Oh, I want you to just tell me something. Do you think Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday? Which one do you think is best for a public holiday? Which one do
I
you
don't
think?
know because I can do anything at public holiday.
Okay, so I think Friday is the best, okay? Because if you go on a holiday, on a public holiday on Friday, okay, you're going to have a long weekend, okay? Let's
Mm,
say the government declares Friday a public holiday, okay? So meaning you're going to rest on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. That's a long weekend, right?
yes,
Okay, so I think the best days for a public holiday is best days are Fridays and Mondays. Okay, so on Friday you will have a long holiday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Then if the public holiday is on Monday, okay, you're going to rest Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. That's going to be a long holiday, right?
yes,
So Friday and Monday are usually the best days for a public holiday. Okay? So now let's look at the
yes.
next one. Do you like public holidays? Why or
Yes,
why
I do
not? Okay, so why do you like public holidays?
because I can play anything and rest at uh, on public holiday.
Okay? Because you can rest from school, right? You can rest from school, spend time with your family and friends, right?
Yes,
Okay, that's nice. So now let's move to the passage. Public holidays in South Korea. Public holidays in South Korea. So I want you to read.
people always hope that public holidays are on weekdays. This is because they can get an extra day of work or school. Many people feel that South Korea needs more public holidays. They should the government allow more public holidays. Some say that South Korea needs more public holidays. First, South Koreans work very long hours and have a very short vacation. People in other countries work less and rest more. It is time for South Koreans to rest longer. Second, South Koreans need more time to remember important e- e- event, events in their history. For example, South Korea made the most important law in ni- uh, 1948.
1948.
1948. The South Korean people should remember such events. Order disagree first on a public holiday. People do not work. This means that fewer things are made and so then companies may let their workers go. In other words, many people may lose their jobs. Second, on public holidays, people just waste their time. Most people just sleep, watch television, and eat too much. South Koreans should work and study harder without waste, wasting their time.
Okay. Public holidays in South Korea. People always hope that public holidays are on the weekdays. This is because they can get an extra day off from work or school. Many people feel that South Korea needs more public holidays. Then, should the government allow more public holidays? The second paragraph. Some says that South Korea needs more public holidays. First, South Koreans work very long hours and have very short vacations. People in other countries work less and rest more. It is time for South Koreans to rest longer. Second, South Koreans need more time to remember important events in their history. For example, South Korea made the most important law in 1948. The South Korean people should remember such events. Others disagree. First, on a public holiday, people do not work. This means that fewer things are made and sold. Then companies may let their workers go. In other words, many people may lose their jobs. Second, on public holidays, people just waste their time. Most people just sleep, watch television, and eat too much. So South Koreans should work and study harder without wasting their time. Okay? So now let's answer the comprehension check. Okay? We are to answer the questions using information from the reading passage. All right? Can
Yes,
you? All right. So the first one, why do people hope that a public holiday is on a weekend?
because they can get an extra day off from work and school.
Okay, because they can get an extra day off work or school. All right. So the next one, why do South Koreans need more public holidays?
Mm, um, um, First, South Koreans work very long hours and have a very short vacation.
Okay. So they need more holidays because they work long hours and have very short vacations, right?
Yes.
So what kind of events should people remember from the past?
Mm,
What kind of event should people remember from the past?
Uh, History.
Okay, so people should remember the most important law of 1948. Okay, so South Korea needs to remember more important events in their history. Okay, for example,
Yeah.
they made the most important law in 1948. Okay, so now the next one. Why is it a problem for South Korea? Why is it a problem for South Korea if people do not work on a public holiday? Why is it a problem for South Korea if people do not work on a public holiday?
Mm, this means that fewer things are made, and so then companies may let their worker go. In other words, many people may lose their jobs.
Okay, it means fewer things are made and sold. Okay, fewer things are made and sold. So, how do people waste their time on a public holiday? How do people waste their time on a public holiday?
Mm, Most people so, just sleep, watch TV, and watch television, and eat too much.
Yes, most people just sleep, watch TV, and eat too much. Okay, so now here we are at the vocabulary words. Okay, vocabulary check. So now complete each sentence with one of the words below. Okay, complete each sentence with one of the words below. All right, so now we have disagree. Okay, events. All right, extra, public, and weekday. Okay, so I want you to pronounce this vocabulary word. What's the first one?
Mm, Disagree.
Okay, the next one.
Event. Event.
O- Okay, the next one.
Extra.
Extra. Okay, the next one.
Public.
Public. All right, the last one.
Weekday.
Weekday. Okay, so now let's learn the meaning of these words. Okay, let's learn the meaning of these words. All right, the first one we have is disagree. Okay, so what's the meaning of disagree? When you say
Mm,
disagree, when you say disagree, what does
Disagree.
it mean?
Disagree mean um, uh, mm, mất mất dình đu đu
When what?
um, Um, must do something.
A person do something. No. So when you say disagree, you're talking about to have a different opinion from someone. Okay? To have a different opinion. Okay? To have a different opinion from someone.
Yes.
Okay? To have a different opinion from someone. Okay? So the next one we have event. Okay? Event. What's the meaning of event? Do you know the meaning of events?
Yes, but I can explain.
Okay? So when we talk about events, we're talking about something that happens, like a party or a meeting. Okay? Something that happens like a party, a festival, an event. Okay? A party or a meeting. All right? Something that happens like a party or meeting. Something that happens like a party or meeting. Okay, that's the meaning of event. Something that happens like a party or a meeting. Okay, are you there, Michael?
Yes.
Okay, so the next one now we have extra. All right, we have extra. Okay, extra is like more than usual. Okay, more than usual. More than usual. That's extra. Okay. So now we have public. Next we have public. Okay. When you talk about public, you're saying something that is not private. Not private. For everyone. Okay. For everyone. That's the right word. Okay. Public is for everyone, not private. Okay. Right, Michael?
Yes.
Okay. And the last one we have is weekday. Okay. Weekday. When we say weekday, we're talking about Monday to Fridays. Okay. Monday to Friday. Those are the weekdays. Okay. So now let's fill in the sentence using the correct words. Okay. So now the first one. Can you read and fill in the first one for me?
Mm, you can have a extra piece of bread.
Okay. You can have an, okay. You can have an extra meat piece of bread, okay. An, not a, okay. The next
Yes.
one, number two,
Mm, scientists, scientists, um, disagree about the beginning of life.
okay. Scientists disagree about the beginning of life. They have a different opinion, okay. So now number three,
Mm, public transportation means bus, trains, and airplanes.
okay. Public transportation for everyone, okay. For everyone. Okay. So now number four.
Uh, a weekday means any day of the week
Okay, a
except
weekday.
Saturday and Sunday.
Yes, Saturday and Sunday are weekends. Okay, we call Saturday and Sunday weekends. Okay, so
Herbert,
weekdays, yes. Number five.
Herbert is an important event for everybody.
Okay, her birth is an important event for everybody. Okay, so you got this part correctly. All right, the answers are correct. Okay, so now, Michael, our time is up. Our time is
Yes.
up. So thanks for joining the class today. I'll see you in our next
Goodbye,
class.
teacher.
Goodbye, Michael. See you in our next class.
Goodbye, teacher.
Goodbye.